It's a picture of my thumbnail for the thumbnail. Hi, I'm Betty. I'm a person. I'm a spirit who thinks that I'm a person. I'm a divine spiritual being wearing a virtual reality headset in deep, deep outer space, and I'm confused, and I think that I'm actually on Earth. And guess what? So are you. I won't claim that truth for you, but you actually are. So how is your video game going today? Are you having the best time in your video game? If you're not, then I have some suggestions on how you can get to an awesome place in your human life experience. Number one, recognize that you are in a video game, okay? There's a controller. There's somebody controlling the controller of your video game. They're not some maniacal, nihilistic teenager hoping that only bad things happen to you. They're this beautiful soul essence, your higher self, who wants you to experience as much of the earth experience as you possibly can. The higher self does not understand connotation, doesn't understand good or evil, doesn't understand light or dark, just understands experience. So you are having as much experience as you possibly can. Now, I feel like people who are drawn to my story or who I may be watching right now generally are people who have dealt with some sort of trauma in their life. Who are we kidding? Just coming to Earth is pretty dramatic and traumatic. So if you're somebody who's dealing with some other sort of trauma in your life, if you're dealing with depression or anxiety or overthinking or addiction or anything like that, I think one of the ways to understand is that this is a story that you're playing out. It's not real. Not to dismiss your very real feelings, but doesn't it kind of make you feel like awesome and free to know that nothing in this reality is actually real? It's just some weird video game, messed up Spanish novella of a movie that's kind of acting itself out. You are an actor or an actress in this divine play that we're in. They talk about it in Hinduism. They call it Leela, the cosmic play. Now, you don't have to be a method actor in this play if you don't want to. But so many of us get super attached to our emotions, and we just need to feel them out and be super attached to the storylines, to the past, to the future, to the anxiety, to the diagnoses, to the medications, all of these things that go along with the human experience. So, okay, number one, recognize that the world is an illusion and your life will get way, way better. Number two, you don't have to be a method actor in the play of life that is going on. So think of yourself as Truman from The Truman Show, right? Like you're on Angel TV. Okay, your whole little group of angels and soul family, they're watching you, like on this little TV set. I just kind of imagine that there's a room in heaven that's just billions of little TVs, and they're just like, ooh, who should we watch today? And they're just kind of zoning in to each of our little storylines and narratives. And there's a lot of things that go on the TV screens. You know, there's war, there's injustice, there's abuse, there's poverty. There's also the miracle of childbirth. There's connection to soulmates. There's soul families finding each other. There's people fulfilling their life's dreams and purposes and coming over great odds and huge adversity. And, you know, this is the whole myriad of emotions that we get to experience on Earth. And it's really, it's amazing and really beautiful. So, number one tool to really start enjoying your Earth experience is to stay present. Count your fingers, count your toes, stay present in the moment, ground yourself. Whenever I feel like I'm getting carried away with anxious thoughts or overthinking or worrying, I have to remind myself to stay present. Sometimes I hug a tree. Often I hug trees. I'm like one of those weird people on the street. I just like stop and hug a tree. I plant my feet in grass, which is very hard to find in New York City. So usually I have to walk for about 20 minutes until I can find a patch of grass. But I definitely take my shoes off and plant my feet in it. I reach out to another person. That's a great way to stay present, to get out of my own self-centeredness, okay? The whole world isn't happening to me, for me, or about me. Like, there's other people, too. So I like to connect to others, and I think that's a great way to stay present as well. And to do something kind for myself, for somebody else, open up a door, smile at a stranger, just like these little things. A million baby steps equals a gigantic leap. But staying present is the most powerful tool. So these are the questions that I ask myself every night before I go to bed. You can do the same thing, and it's something that keeps me present. First question. You guys can feel free to answer in the chat if you want. What did I do well today? So I'll answer mine. What did I do well today? Well, I met with my sponsor, and I practiced the spiritual principle of honesty and open-mindedness. I did that well today. What can I improve upon tomorrow? Nothing. I'm perfect. No, that's not the right answer. Something I can improve upon tomorrow. I can exercise my physical body some more. I only got 8,000 steps, and usually I try to get 10,000. And then that next question that I ask is, when did I stay present? Well, I'm present right now while I'm talking about presence. So that's my answer to that question. When did my higher power show up? That's a really good question. I think my higher power showed up in many places today, but one of them especially was talking to a man who's developing an app for low-income people who want to enter recovery, and just seeing his hope. Like, I imagined him taking this little tiny eyeglass screwdriver and kind of hitting it against this huge, gigantic boulder that is resistance. But he was so hopeful about it. So I think HP, higher power, God, source, spirit, angels were all over that moment. It was pretty incredible. And then 5 things that I'm grateful for about today, right? I don't want to think about things that I'm grateful for in the large scope of things. I want to stay present. So 5 things that I'm grateful for about today. I didn't fall down while walking. Not like I normally do that, but just saying. I got to eat a biscuit for dinner, gluten-free vegan biscuit. That made me really happy. I'm grateful for water. Love water. Insatiable thirst for water. I'm grateful for my friendships. I got to spend the day with my dear friend. She's also my coworker, and we chatted for a long time. That made me feel really great. And I'm grateful for recovery because I have recovery, I'm able to formulate comprehensive sentences and share them on Instagram Live. So, okay, one more time, because I took a million detours there. The questions that you ask yourself to stay present. What did I do well today? What could I improve upon tomorrow? Where did God show up for me today? When did I stay present? 5 things I'm grateful for that happened today. So I do that every night before I go to sleep, and it's, again, to remind me how to stay present and how I can improve tomorrow. What did I not do as great as I would have liked to today, and how can I set intention to make that happen tomorrow? Use the first 5 minutes of the beginning of your day and the last 5 minutes before you fall asleep to set intention and express gratitude. That is the cheat code to manifesting your reality, okay? And, maybe you don't need some major transformation like I did, but those are the things that I did to get to the place where I'm at today. And let me tell you, it's pretty awesome where I'm at, okay? Let's see. Some people wrote in the chat, hello all, welcome. Let me just see. I'm not going to stay on here long because my videos have been way too long lately. I want to keep them short and concise. Somebody said, I think I'd have to experience what you did to feel that this isn't real. I'm not being a jerk. It just it's just how I feel. Yeah, I think that, it's only as challenging a concept as you decide that it has to be. I mean, you could look into a million different faiths and religions, and they'll tell you that the world is not real, particularly Eastern religions. But there's been so many great spiritual teachers that have said similar things. Have you ever read the book, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz? In the beginning of the book, he talks about how even in ancient Toltec wisdom, they talked about how this is an illusion, that this is all smoke and mirrors, that we're very confused. Plato, like ancient philosopher, he talked about the allegory of the cave, where we're actually perceiving shadows on a wall and we don't know where the source is coming from. We've assigned names and meanings to all of these shadows, and we're just quite content living here in this dank, dark butthole of a cave called Earth. So if your human experience is great, thinking that this is real, then more power to you, man. Keep believing that it's real. But if you're starting to feel weighed down by the unrest or the injustice or the craziness of the illusion, it's Start seeing the world that it's not real. Your brain is always going to confirm to you what your belief is. Your brain will always find evidence. So you have to decide what kind of evidence you're looking for. Me, I want more evidence that the world is not real. So every time that something crazy happens, that's my proof. Yeah, of course the world's not real because this shit is batshit crazy, okay? Let's see. Anybody else have any amazing words for me? What are your morning questions? No questions in the morning. I'll tell you what my morning routine is, though. As soon as I wake up, I make my bed. Number one, hey, I've accomplished something today. My first task is complete. I've let my body and my spirit know that the cycle of sleep is complete and that I'm ready to take on the day in my waking dream. So I set intention, like I said, first thing in the morning. I open up my eyes. I can't believe I have this beautiful home. I always say that first thing. And then I go into my manifestation portal. Today I want to be of service to somebody. Today I want a new coaching client. I never say want. Today a new coaching client will find their way to me. Today I'll be of service to someone. Today somebody will ask me to be on a podcast or collaborate with them in some creative way. I set intention for things like that. Those are the things that I want to experience in the day. Then I go over to my water and I pour out 1 liter of water. And I speak affirmations into the water. I say things like, today I will be disciplined, structured, compassionate, and kind. That's me balancing my masculine and my feminine attributes. Masculine is about the discipline and the structure. Compassionate and kind is a feminine attribute. I speak it into the water and then I gulp it all down. I just want to get it all over with. I mean, I drink a lot of water, but I don't necessarily like it. I just want to get it over with, right? So I drink down this liter of water and I feel like every cell in my body vibrates with the words that I just spoke into the water. And so I get to carry that vibration with me throughout the day. I'm a compassionate, kind, structured, disciplined person. Then I walk out the door, I miss the subway train, I'm cursing God and everything that's ever existed, and I'm no longer in my spiritual space. But the really cool thing is that I get to start my day over whenever I want. So usually I let it go within a couple of seconds, but I'm not perfect, okay? Like I am a flawed human being just like the rest of us. And so, I don't pretend to be like some super heightened spiritual person, but I'll tell you this, I love my life. If you are a person who is not loving your human experience right now, please reach out. Let me connect you to some community, or maybe you want to work together. But there is so much hope out there. If somebody like me, a homeless meth head prostitute who was strung out on heroin for 20 years, can find hope and delight and love in this world, then I'm pretty sure that you can too, Anyway, thanks so much for letting me share. Be wavy.